Grapple Dog is a 2D platformer that was released in 2022, developed by Medallion Games, and published by Super Rare Originals. In this review, I'll go over everything as it would show up in a regular playthrough, so obviously, if you think you'd want to check out this game, this is your only warning. Starting off, as soon as you hit the title screen, two of the best parts of this game are immediately apparent. The art with its nice and almost cozy cel-shaded style, and the phenomenal music which reminds me of Sonic Mania in all the best ways. The game begins with the story of how this land used to be sad and dreary, but then this mouse-looking creature called the Great Inventor invented things to help the people, such as an arrow, a toaster, and the head of a robot. After that, a jealous evil emerged. Smart dude made some cosmic gadgets, disappeared, and now people search for the gadgets. Cut to our main little group as we find an island with a suspiciously tall statue of the intelligent one and start walking through it at midnight in the rain without any sort of protection whatsoever. The music here reminds me of Minecraft. A little later, this dog, who I assume may grapple eventually, stops at the very ominous robot-looking thing, while the rest of his group just wanders off. Turns out, the robot got powered on by people being there, it shakes the ground, and our dog friend gets undertailed. Ignore my screenshot. Just floating there, almost waiting for him, is what appears to be a robot head. Why would there be a jet specifically for the head of a robot is a great question that will never receive an answer, and nor should it, as some mysteries should remain just as they are. Stupid. The robot plays a prank on us and offers to show the way out, which finally gets us to the platforming part of this platforming game. Off the bat, the controls feel quite nice. Turns out the dog's name is Pablo, and this quirky robot has the same name as this freaky thing from The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, a Minecraft creepypasta, and a UTF-8 control character with an absolute value of 0. This can only be a good thing. Soon after, we unlock a chest for him and get ourselves the fabled grapple of this dog. These blue blocks will be the main mechanic for the rest of the game. Remember the fact that he just flew upwards quite a ways. Hey look, the switch he was talking about. Following Nolan to the room, he makes a little chuckle, says he's gonna do something, and oh no, he's got demon horns. Whatever he is, he's now at full power, which I don't think is good, but I can't tell as my eyes are quite strained and can currently only see the color purple. This guy is going to be our antagonist for the game and is probably also that ancient evil from before. After a nice dramatic running sequence, Pablo jumps into the ocean, where else, and Noel wastes no time using his dragon to commit the crime of blowing up a desolate island in the middle of nowhere for no reason. Not even a show of force, there's no one around to see it but us, and he thinks we're dead. He then hits a pose reminiscent to me of this Eggman one for some reason, and our rabbit buddy picks us up with her underwater jetpack. Brought back aboard our ship, we recount our tales of the last 7 minutes. This bird, called the Professor apparently, knows a thing or two about these cosmic gadgets, and that they would probably destroy the world. Pablo decides it's their job to save the world, and the other two eventually agree. It's 1-1 time now in the Merry Mountains, and this level does a great job with showing and telling the player all the basics of the game. These are fruit. Collect enough of them and you can get gems. Gems allow you to progress, there are 5 hidden in each level, and 2 that you get from collecting first 110, then 220 fruit. Then, there's a bonus coin, which unlocks extra bonus levels in the overworld. These milk bone things will also spawn from enemies and heal you if you're below max health. Finally, there are enemies, all of which can be destroyed whenever you're in ball form. Something I found out from the cutting room floor, great website by the way, is that this goat here was supposed to talk to us and ask us for the good stuff. I did confirm this in the files by the way, and the location for it is here. You got the wrong Pablo, my guy. After this is the first type of bonus level, a challenge stage, all of which have a goal that you must complete in under 1 minute and 30 seconds. This one, which I will be referring to as a shard type, is the easiest of the 3 types of bonus levels, as you simply have to collect all of the shards hidden around the stage in the time allotted. As this is World 1, it's quite easy, but a nice level nonetheless. There's not much to level 2, except for the fact that it teaches you how to climb and use cannon, so I'll move on to level 3. This level doesn't do much either, except introduce the best part of this entire game. The swimming in this game is insanely good, in ways that I don't even know how to state. It just feels so fluid, and the boosting has such good oomph when you use it to jump out of the water that I don't think I've seen a better swimming system in a 2D platformer recently, or maybe even ever. What I'm about to show you now is one of the worst parts of this game, which I'll dub perfect parkour. These fruits over here take true platforming perfection in order to reach, and you might say, well, that can't be that bad, it's just a few fruit. But it's not. The physics on the rope swing and how Pablo comes off of it or floats in the air just don't feel quite right. It's honestly rare for them to work exactly as you expect, and if I'm already feeling this in level 3, then that can't be a great sign. After this, the game tells me to go inside of our ship. Talking to the professor in the room, we find out that Null is a robot. Also, that he was created by the great inventor himself, but that's far less important than the video game available to us in Pablo's room. This is Boomerang Bandit, a simple high score based game with zero plot relevance, but it's quite fun. I also keep thinking it's called Cowboy Runner for some reason, don't know why. Moving on to the next level is the first destruction based bonus level, where again, in the 1 minute and 30 second time frame, you have to kill all of the enemies. This type of bonus level is probably the hardest, not being that way right now, but later it gets much worse. I should also mention that heals do not spawn in these levels at all. This level is also the game's introduction to you of UFOs. They fly in circles. 1-5 is quite a nice level with some swimming and an introduction to these boomerang-like saw enemies. Here though is yet another example of that perfect parkour I mentioned earlier. You have to just barely get above this ledge and behind this fake block in order to get a gem. One problem with this though is the stickiness of the walls. The second you start going up one, you will lose all momentum, which makes this perfect platforming all the more challenging. Now, we have the third and final type of bonus level, the race type. 1 minute and 30 seconds as usual is on the clock, and you need to get to the end. These are the simplest type of bonus level, but are usually a bit harder than the shard type ones. On to the final level of World 1, Boss Level Rex. This level does a good job at making the player show off all the mechanics used so far. You slowly make your way up a tower while collecting the hidden gems and fruits along the way. Instead of ending off the level with a bell though, you make it to the boss cannon. Pablo finds Null there, who instead of doing anything acts as the typical corporate executive and hands off the work to one of his lackeys. This starts a true classic platform boss fight. Run and jump while you're being chased. You do some parkour, find a cannon, shoot yourself right back to Rex for 1/6 of his health, and keep on running. This boss fight though has the first real example of that physics problem I talked about earlier. So of course, I quickly die to the easiest boss in the whole game. After that though, I'm quickly able to nail the 6 hits necessary to beat Rex, and after he explodes into a white light nothingness, I'm granted a cosmic gadget. Hold on, wait a minute. Riddle me this, Batman. If one of the super powerful devices that you're chasing, created by this godlike being, was already inside of your henchman the whole time, why couldn't you just have taken it? Is he lazy, or did he just not know? Anyways, World 2 is now unlocked along with fast travel. Obviously, you can skip this entire world and head straight to the boss. Devs really weren't proud of this one, huh? There's also the first hint of something between these two when Tony says... We then find out the professor is just as stupid as Pablo. Truly a great trio with very few brain cells. World 2 is probably my favorite as it features the most swimming, and I do love the way everything was made to look tropical, and this song reminds me of Sonic Mania the most out of the whole soundtrack. Yeah, right now I really don't have anything else to say, I just like this world, so enjoy this clip of me utterly failing to complete a really easy shard bonus level and rage quitting. And here are some other assorted clips of World 2 Level 2 as well to give you a better feel of it. Eventually though, I make it to Boss Bubble Tank. It's also probably the level with the absolute best swimming sections. Null is, of course, waiting for after another boss cannon, says something about how this world isn't his, and he'll gladly destroy it. Don't think about those ramifications though, as Boss 2, the tank, is spawned. This boss has a gimmick only slightly more complicated than the last. It fires some stuff, then pops out its head. The reason for which I can only assume to be overheating or something similar.
He's on fire!
We really just have to stay swinging. This guy though, is where that floatiness problem and some others really start to rear their heads. Let's watch that again in slow motion. The hitbox is apparently non-existent and my swing feels way too fast, as well as Pablo taking damage because of how long he was in the air before that flying speed was able to reverse. Not great. After doing some damage, he gains some new attacks like a jump and waves that fire out to both walls, but nothing hard to get around. The feel of the physics messed me up again, but I'm able to get Tank Man down to 2 hits, then 1 hit. I should also mention that every once in a while, if I'm at half health or lower, Milk Bones will spawn in during this boss. Tank Man is dead after only a minute more, and we collect another cosmic gadget. A light bulb. Same riddle as last time. World 3, the Ember Isles, is now unlocked, and sadly you're unable to skip this one from the very beginning. Talking to Tony, the audio falls behind by a good second, a weird glitch considering they're using professional audio software. Pablo then takes some time to remind the player that he's an absolute moron. World 3 is fine for me. The first level introduces you to these crumbling platforms and the greatest character in the entire game. I get you. Pablo might think you're rude, but I get you. In this level here, there's also another good example of a physics issue. As you can see, two completely normal swings. Then, on this third one, a swing that went so fast I couldn't even react. How nice. At least I got a checkpoint, but come on. Level 2 has some conveyors and a depressed bird. Level 3 is where the most annoying enemy in the entire game resides. The snake is one of those mechanics that makes you wonder who suggested it, why it got approved, and who you can complain about it to. In a game where swinging back and forth is the only way to build momentum, why would you have an enemy which chases you, causing that swing back to always have dire consequences? The only thing that makes this level bearable is the fact that even though it resides in a hellscape, there's a water section. Just the fact that you can move in all directions makes the snake so much more tolerable. Why aren't all snake sections underwater? Seriously, it feels the absolute best here. Oh look, an achievement for 25%. And I'm 2 hours in? This won't be an 8-hour game, right? Anyways, doesn't matter, as a nice relaxing shard type bonus level has popped up. Oh no, you wouldn't do this. No, it wouldn't be allowed. So of course, rage quitting, I moved on to a level about hanging on to gears as they went along rails. Continuing to boss level face now because I skipped the other levels. This is another one of the mostly upward corridor levels, and since the boss level just does a lot of recapping previous levels. For some reason, this singular section took me 5 minutes to beat. Don't know why, I think I was just being dumb. Turns out Noel knew the inventors somehow. Yet another kind of lore drop, but who cares because it's time for the third boss, a big floating face. The gimmick of this guy is he shoots fire, drops a firebomb, and then smashes himself into the floor. Eventually, he gives you a free bomb which you can shoot back at him, making him stick his tongue out and open up his bulb on top. You swing on his tongue and hit the bulb, pretty simple. I die once, of course, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't, but I defeat him pretty easily the next go. That gives us the CD, a marvelous device you can use to do things like this. Now that's what I call a CP violation. World 3, Snowkeep. Huh, I swear I've heard of that before. The professor does a sort of lore dump, I get a new high score and an achievement in the Boomerang Bandit, and now it's time to actually do some platforming. The design of the bears is really funny, I'll admit, and their main mechanic is that they are bounce pads. Here is the worst level in the entire game. This is what happens when you forget to playtest because there's absolutely no way a human reviewed this and said, yeah, that's good. I go back to Sunny Shores because I realized those levels will probably be far easier to collect gems in than the winter ones. I quickly beat 2-3, a level based on these chain chomp things. It is on a chain and it chomps. Get off my back. Moving on to a race type bonus I collected from 2-3, there isn't much that's important except for one tiny thing. I suck at using these green bouncers. No, that's not true. What's more important is this exact moment. This rage quit. I think to myself, that was a little too easy to quit. Shouldn't there at least have been a pop-up to confirm or something? Notice the location and moniker of the hedgehog. After another easy level and a shard type bonus, I move on to 2-5, which is only relevant because this bug occurs. This is pretty much the only major glitch which happens, so that's cool. After a quick destruction type bonus level, there's this level, which introduces these frogs, which float like balloons whenever you ground pound near them. A pretty cool concept. This is the only level in the entire game where they are used. I have enough gems now, so on to boss level 4, Dragon. This one section of the pre-boss level was kind of annoying, but doesn't matter as we convene with Null somewhere high up again. Seemingly disgusted with our ability to climb as high as he can, he summons his dragon, knocking us off the cliff. Tony sees this and hits a Tails as she rescues Pablo from his fall. Oh, whoops, wrong footage, my bad. This boss is kind of the same as the worm boss from Sonic Mania, or at least heavily inspired by it. You dodge some attacks which are signaled, fly up, dodge some fireballs using a grapple point, fly up, grapple throughout the dragon's body, damage the eye, repeat till perfection. After the first hit, these little pink bullets start showing up and are seeking. They will also circle around once after missing you, so they can be extremely annoying. The dragon's body also has spines now. Third phase, things are faster. That's about it. The metal monstrosity is dead, and you gain access to a battery. Null immediately teleports to the professor and watches her have a stroke. Pure evil right there. He then gains access to Pablo's TV and tells him that the professor can be traded for the cosmic gadgets, and to come face him in the boss world, the Great Workshop. Instead of doing that, I replay some other levels after noticing the absolutely obscene gem requirement of 190 to unlock the final boss stage. This world looks exactly as you'd expect for a robot and purple-themed world. Yet another perfect platforming example when I'm trying to get this bonus coin in level 1, and of course the weird changes to my momentum from these spinning gears just do not help in the slightest. Next level is called Snake Hit Stop, and I sure wish the developers had acted on that name. After that is a level which shows off these electric enemies. They make the ground spicy. I should also mention a technique I've been doing pretty much since the start of World 2, I think, is continuously spamming X to grapple whenever I'm in a situation where I need to go farther. It usually doesn't work, but it can be helpful in certain situations. After that, it's crumbling grapple blocks. Guess what they do? Here's an example of two really honestly stupid design decisions in this game. Let's watch. For some reason, your hook can not only trigger these crumbling blocks without fully connecting to them, but also when the player goes off-screen, the internal timer, which is about 4.5 seconds, is not reset, but paused. Why would you code it this way? Honestly, I feel like there's no reason for an asset to be paused unless it's an enemy, and even then, can't you just reset it? Oh hey Pablo, what's going on? There's a bug? What? Oh, you mean like a glitch? Okay, but like how big is it? It can't be that much of a problem. God damn it, that's another major bug to add. Can't see or hear it? That's fine, but I certainly could at the time, and it appeared to be a memory leak. You might be thinking, oh, but it doesn't look that bad, but that's not how memory leaks work. With this type of glitch, the more you play, the worse it gets. Moving on, because there's nothing I can do about that. This rail section took me quite a few attempts. Why? I'm bad at this game. Boss fight now in its new Rex Deluxe Game of the Year edition featuring Knuckles from the 3D land plus Bowser's Fury 64 3 ODST Remastered Remake Intergrade 2016 I'm Going Insane Trilogy 1.5 plus 2.5 plus Starcross World Reignited Revelations Trials and Goddamn Tribulations. What I mean by all that is it's basically the same boss fight before, just with newer obstacles. This boss suffers from a bit of a design problem, as when you're moving fast, it can often be quite hard to dodge all of these moving spikes. Also, since we've collected all the magical devices, the only reward is the gems I collected throughout the level. I did not have even close to enough gems to face the final boss, so it's time to replay some levels. This, of course, also means going back to this hellish level, but I've evolved. I'm no longer the same person who took damage during level 1. This time, I'll get this done quickly. It took me 7 minutes and 4 deaths, because why would anything be simple? Back to replaying levels. 190 gems, it's finally time. The final boss. And before that, the final boss pre-level. And before that, the select screen. Some quick platforming, which I easily did later, and we get to Tony, who shows us the interdimensional portal. World 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all have their own little segments, which are all right before we get to Null. Oh wait, Tony has something to say. Aw, that's cute. Well, it's time to launch out of a cannon again, and Null goes back on the deal. Why? He could have had all 4 of the devices twice now, and he just says, you know what, I'd rather kill you. Doesn't matter, time to deal with him. The basic gimmick of this boss's stage 1 is dodge some fire, hit a target, hand turns blue, grapple, and get a hit. 5 times doesn't look too bad, and normally it wouldn't be too bad, but oh boy, this fight has some BS you're gonna have to deal with. Oftentimes, in many of the stages, you'll get stuck being unable to even hit null as the fire or homing bullets, yes, these are back starting in stage 2, are exactly where you need to be to gain enough momentum to even try to land a hit. One thing I didn't mention that I like is the fact that heals spawn in after a while. A while being after a full round of dodging, so sometimes your options in the moment are survive a bit longer, or go for it and probably end up dead. Also, these fists don't actually show up for that long after stage 1, so you better hope your RNG is good. Stage 3, these bullets get shot out of the circle before a hand starts blasting. It's a fine mechanic. What's not is the fact that these homing bullets spawn just fast enough to a point where sometimes you'll be completely unable to dodge them. Like when, for example, there are 5 on screen at the same exact time. Also, some bullets will just be randomly faster than others. No reason that I can see, they just are, meaning it's almost impossible to nail down a good feeling for when and where a bullet will be. This damn bullet hell took me so many tries, but eventually I did it. I scored the final hit and took out Null. I'm free. I can finally say I finished this stupid game. God damn it. Remember how I kept saying stage 1, stage 5, not phase 1? That's because all that bullet hell bullshit was phase 1. Null takes our gadgets, which he could have already done twice in much easier ways, and activates his stupid portal. He then lore dumps, opens a portal to New York, calls it boring and sad, and then the portal closes. Pablo tries to get him to see the light, Null tells him no, and welcome everyone to phase 2. Gimmick for this one is he's using things from the portal. To start, he takes some random people off the highway and throws them at me. Jump over some cars and it's onto the platforming part. He throws stars at us while these little octopus things that have been showing up all over the game spawn platforms for us. Not too hard, and the next part is alright. Dodge some magnets, I think that's what they are, some alien explosives, and then it's time again for platforming feet squid guys. Then, onto some swords, some magmaspheres, and repeat. The game will also do its absolute best to keep you at 2 hearts because, as we all know, first is the worst. In every single case. Don't argue with me, you know it's true. Finally, it's on to the ultimate hit. The last hurrah. Welcome to the end. And also, perhaps the dumbest part of this entire game so far. Remember when I was talking about perfect platforming earlier? This is why I was complaining about it. This stupid swing point exemplifies almost all the problems with the grappling in this game. In order to get somewhere, you must move in that direction. But that will also move the direction your grapple goes in. Do you see the problem yet? If I need to get over here, but the grapple point is above me, how the hell am I supposed to get there? Anyways, I die, so I have to play it all again. If I've done it before, I can do it again. Lock in time. Remember him? Shouldn't there at least have been a pop-up to confirm or something? 1 hour and 1 minute of my life playing through that level and the boss fight wasted. All I wanted to do was take a quick break, but I slightly nudged my joystick up just enough for it to barely register. What possible reason would make someone decide not to have a confirmation? I haven't worked in the gaming industry, but there is no way that they couldn't have just added one more menu. It can't be that hard to add one more menu to anything. A game. A piece of software.
Hello.
A restaurant. At this point, I was so tired of this game, I googled if there were cheats for it, and it turns out there were. In the accessibility options, you could turn off damage and allow for infinite jumps. But was I really going to make a game faster to complete just by cheating? Was I going to give up all that I had done? Yes. The whole point of a game is to have fun, and I'm not spending another 20 minutes to get through that stupid level again. So I cheated, prosecute me. Round 2. I turned off my cheats, and aw, that's cute again. Now, it was time to lock in.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how—
Nobody cares. I think I may be losing my mind, but let's try that again.
Insanity. Noun. Doing the same thing over and over again expecting different results. Sun Tzu.
There we go, that's more like it. This is the true conclusion to it all. Everything has led up to this very moment. The memory leak was making the game move slower than most modern AAAs on launch day, and I was literally sweating on my controller. But here we go. Never mind, screw that, it's time to finish this. I did it! I'm done! I'm free! Wait, what? Oh good, he's sacrificing himself. Carry on. Serves you right, you lazy idiot. You could have won and prevented this so many times. You could have flown up that shaft and hit the button yourself. You could have destroyed your own minions. You could have... What's that? There's 2 more things I have to do? No, I don't. There's no contract which says that. Check again. Let me see that contract. That can't possibly be legal. So, speedrun mode. You go fast, you get a medal. Like the Olympics without the ice skating scandals. It's what you'd expect. Moving on to the bonus levels. I played one of them. You could not even pay me to play more. This is the Trial of Winds. It's a challenge level. The song for this level made it sound like birds were rapping. Seriously, listen to this. How the hell do you even do that? Oh good, I've been stalked. I'm done. This was all supposed to be a review though. Something simple. And reviews always have numbers. We love numbers, that's why every sports website is nothing but numbers. I think this game probably deserves a 6.5 to 7 out of 10, but like IGN, nothing can go below 7. Unless of course it's Looney Tunes Zany Race, because also the swimming mechanics really help. So 7.5 out of 10. That's it. I need an outro though. Hello, it's me again. I know you're probably sick of my voice by now, but I do have some actual thoughts in the game. I thought it was fun. It was a pretty good platformer for about 8 hours, I think it was. And, sorry if you thought this was a real review, but you're still watching at this point, so I guess it worked out anyways. This video was kind of just to remind myself how to edit video and audio and stuff like that. And it was pretty fun to make. Thanks again. Goodbye.